Hey guys. It's been a little while. If you watch me on Twitch, you might have noticed that I haven't been streaming for the past couple of weeks, or you might have noticed that there haven't been any videos here in that time as well. So basically, I want to kind of take this video and talk a little bit about what I've been doing for the past couple of weeks. I might hint at some projects that I'm working on, some potentially cool things to come, and we'll talk about what I'm going to be kind of focusing on for the next couple of weeks as well. Spoiler alert, it eventually involves playing Runeterra whenever that comes out. It's a tenuous plan, who knows? Anything can kind of pop up at any time. I have no idea what the future holds, but that's kind of where I'm at right now, right? And that's what catches my interest. So, in addition to that, as you can tell from the title of the video, I'm also looking for a new video editor. I'm going to be talking a lot more about that at the end of the video. So let's talk about what the next several weeks are going to look like. All right, so what have I been doing for the past couple of weeks? Well, a lot of it was mostly just kind of relaxing, but I've been doing some consulting work on the side. Game design is a bit of a passion of mine, and I, maybe hope to start my own projects someday. That's vague and might never happen, but I've got some ideas for how that might look. But paid consulting is something that I really enjoy doing. It's kind of like it's a really nice kind of thing to sort of take a break from all the pressures that kind of streaming and creating content has. Nice break every once in a while. And it's kind of at the same time sort of a good experience for me as well. It's really nice to kind of come at things from a fresh angle. I don't want to get burnt out on streaming, so I kind of want to spend a week doing something a little different, so that when we do kind of stream again, which will be maybe not necessarily Runeterra stuff, like Runeterra might not come out for another like month or so, and given that, we're gonna have to deal with maybe like we'll figure something out. I'm not sure exactly like when I will start streaming regularly again. That's kind of up in the air, but there's a few things that I definitely could see myself kind of playing for a little bit, kind of just to see what's what before that happens. Mythgard, for example, which I played some, and it was a pretty cool game. So what else? Well, yeah, as you probably know, Yusu and I have been doing these kind of neat spreadsheets for Underlords as well as Runeterra, which hasn't even come out yet. And it was a cool project. With Underlords, it kind of died. The game died like pretty much right after we started doing those, which was kind of unfortunate. But it was a really cool idea. Oh, also, I should have mentioned earlier, just like at least like 40 seconds ago, I'll play Underlords a bit too. And so sometime in the next few weeks, I promise I'll play like at least several games of Underlords. I'll put something up here, and it'll be on Twitch. Because I don't think I'm going to kind of come back to the game in a long term, but I'm interested in checking out what the new changes are. It's always something that I'm interested in kind of seeing for myself and seeing how good it is. We'll see how it goes. I don't really know. Oh, sorry. But basically, we're basically, I've been working with some people, talking with some people about potentially kind of getting that kind of thing, that sort of informational spreadsheet thing built into a website to kind of like make it look a little better for you guys. And in addition to that, also, my YouTube editor, Strider, which, many of you guys know because he's often in the comments. Basically, he wants to try to do something else with his life. He wants to try to get into, I think, filmography, basically. So he's going to be moving, and I've got that slot open. So part of, what I've been doing is basically trying to figure out someone for my new YouTube editor position, because I can't edit these videos myself. People often ask me, people ask me, people say, Swim, what editing software do you use? And I just burst out laughing. I have no idea. Have you guys seen my stream? When I try to draw stuff, I use MS Paint. You guys have, but anyway, I mean, this kind of thing, this is sort of like the pattern I've been doing. I have decided recently that, at least for the time being, and I might change my mind on this because I change my mind on a lot of things, but I think that as a streamer, I don't want to force myself to have to stream and do content on YouTube as well every single day for periods where there's kind of nothing to play. a lot of people have asked me to like try to do more variety stuff, and you know, it's interesting to do, and maybe I'll mess around with some random recordings and stuff in that way. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't really work for me that well as a person. Mostly because how I work is just like how my brain works, and how my motivation works is just with quite large projects, right? Like I don't like doing a lot of like little things and switching games like every day or every week. When I play a game, I like getting in really deep about like all the different things you can do, because games are very complex, and that's why I like them. Well, at least many games are. And, you know, obviously I'm kind of like, I've been in this kind of card strategy game space. I mean, it technically peripheral to some things that I could play. You know, some people have been asking me to play like Age of Empires 3 and stuff like that, which I guess I might give that a try. I mean, because, you know, Underlords and, you know, all those games, kind of like, you know, I mean, they're card games, but they're also not really card games. So, I mean, I do feel like I can kind of like, you know, I don't have to do just card games per se. But I don't know, this is kind of like my focus right now. And for the past like while, I've kind of felt like I don't have a lot of options, right? Like, Artifact came out at the same exact time that Gwent, I would say, died. I know that, you know, some of you guys are probably gonna disagree. I mean, to be perfectly honest, if you're big on Gwent, you're probably still not watching the videos on this channel. But I just could not connect with the new Gwent on Homecoming, so I mean that just wasn't an option at all, right? And of course, Artifact didn't, you know, do anything because the game just kind of was released in a pretty shitty state, which was pretty disappointing. And I don't have amazing hopes for the re-release of Artifacts. That'll probably happen sometime this year. No idea when. And I'll probably check it out. And yeah, I will check it out. I've promised in the past that I will check it out, but I mean, what does that mean? Maybe not much. You know, then there was kind of like the auto battler thing with Underlords and TFT and I guess the chess rush as they're calling it. You know, and that was kind of a fun departure for a little bit. Oh, and there's Hearthstone Battlegrounds, which is yeah, I would call in that category, sure. Which a lot of people liked. I kind of just didn't end up really getting into it. I don't know. Something about the timing just felt kind of off to me. I don't know. I honestly don't know what it is. It's kind of hard to sort of force myself to get excited for stuff that's like kind of like just come out. I don't know what it is, but I really like the I kind of like the anticipation or build up, you know, where like you know about the game and it's like you can theory craft about it without being able to play it yet. I have no idea what it is, but for some reason I actually kind of find that period really enjoyable. And so maybe when games like the original Dota Auto Chess, which I didn't play really much of, or Hearthstone Battlegrounds, maybe that's like part of the reason I just didn't really feel compelled to play them. But yeah, no, I mean it's an interesting direction. But basically, I've just kind of felt like, you know, as a streamer, I just kind of want to do things in this area like cards and strategy games. And there's just kind of not always a lot going on, you know? Like sometimes there's just periods where nothing is just catching my interest for whatever reason, right? Like, and yeah, I know there's at least some group of people. I don't know if these people still watch me, but there's some group of people, mostly on like the Gwent subreddit, I think, that probably just think I play like whatever is popular, which obviously is super not true, because I mean there's a lot of popular things that I basically haven't touched, like Hearthstone or Hearthstone Battlegrounds specifically, or MTGA. Some things just don't catch my interest. Some things do. And I definitely would have stuck it out with Gwen. I mean, I would have played Artifact for like 30 days, realized it was not going anywhere and pretty shit. Maybe not even 30 days. And then I would have, you know, played Gwent. But Homecoming really killed Gwent for me, personally. And not for everyone, but for me personally. Honestly, I'm not really sure exactly what it is about certain games that kind of either catches my interest or not. But I don't know. I'm definitely interested in Runeterra, so that's kind of like where I'm at right now. And basically, all this rambling, I'm not really like, to be honest, like most of you guys probably don't give a shit about like anything I've said in the past like 5 minutes. But just, I don't know. I guess I'm just rambling, and I I'm not really sure exactly like what I want to be doing, but the point of this is that I don't want to force myself to kind of like just do things that I don't want to do just when there's periods of time that nothing happens to be catching my interest. Reasonably speaking, all this means is every like once a year or something I'll take a couple weeks off, who knows. No idea. Anyway, always the trickiest thing is always just trying to find a decent balance between something that you enjoy doing. Well, by you I mean me. Something that I'm able to kind of enjoy doing and creating, because I mean it's I don't want to be doing something I can't. It's not helping anyone for me to do something that I just don't enjoy, because yeah, man, you can always tell. There's no way of like faking that. You can always tell like through kind of the content, like when someone is really passionate about something. And I haven't really felt like super passionate since Old Gwen. Honestly, like perfectly honest, like that degree of just like you could tell I loved every aspect about it. Like, and I mean, they kind of killed the game. Artifact was interesting, I mean, I never had that passion for Artifacts. And Underlords, obviously. I mean, our Artifact and Underlords were a lot more just kind of like, this is neat. It's interesting. It's not like I did like those games, or at least what they had to offer. Artifact was weird. It was like, I played in the beta for a while, and it seemed like it had a lot of potential. And then they didn't change anything before launching it. It like, at the end of the day, Artifact, people complained a lot, but it just felt like it wasn't a prepared product. Like, it felt like it just launched in like a very early version, right? Like, they had like visual assets and stuff like that, but a lot of the features were like not there, and of course the balance was pretty off. It felt like a test build, which when I was playing it as a test build, hey, I was, that was like cool, but when it's launched like that, that's a little less interesting. But yeah, I mean, I just haven't really had like that level of passion in either game at any point in time. But like I was saying, I mean, the important thing is to find a balance between a game that you will enjoy somewhat, pretty well, and that people want to watch you play, right? So, for example, like, I'm talking about Runeterra. I mean, at the end of the day, I kind of want to just like, I mean, my favorite games to kind of like stream and talk about are, these kinds of games where it's like cards or strategy or stuff like that. To be honest, maybe I should just kind of mess around with getting into different genres, honestly. I mean, I don't honestly know how that would work or like what I would even do. But I mean, I play a lot of games that aren't card games, like in the past and in my free time. Like I played on like an Overwatch team for a while. I played Dota, obviously, most of you guys know, for a really good period of my life. That was like my entire life. And I don't know, maybe I should just try mixing it up. But I kind of feel like if I just want to be like a kind of card / strategy game streamer, I almost feel like I'm sort of stuck on a rail, like, because there's kind of only like one cool thing that comes out like every year. It's like Gwent died at the same time Artifact came out, so I guess I had one option: MTGA or Artifacts, and then it was Underlords or TFT, another just one option, and now it's Runeterra, or I guess I mean, I don't even know what else there is. Battlegrounds was like a month ago. I mean, Battlegrounds is still doing well. I mean, I think the mode is fine. Like, the devs seem like they're putting effort into it. Like, it doesn't feel terrible. If you don't like Hearthstone's philosophy, you probably won't like Battlegrounds. I think that's generally true. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. I think I'm probably more interested in Runeterra, and maybe part of that is just because I want to, I played this auto battler thing, and that was cool for the past like 6 months, but I feel like I haven't played a real, good old card game, like an actual traditional like deck building experience in a while, and I definitely want more of that. So I mean, Runeterra, I'm pretty interested in. I hope Riot will surprise me. It seems like a pretty neat game, and I mean, gameplay aside, like, obviously they haven't done really horrible things with like their economy model and stuff like that. Like, the game is much more generous than Hearthstone, or honestly pretty much any other free game except for maybe Old Gwent's. I mean, it's hard to compare. But yeah, it's very generous economy model, fairly interesting dynamics. But nothing super crazy innovative. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely will obviously be playing a lot of Runeterra moving forward. Also, on that note, I'm gonna be returning to doing Runeterra YouTube videos. Probably tomorrow on this channel. You'll start seeing like 1 or 2 a day. Probably throughout the entire time until all the way to Runeterra's playable release, which probably like a month from now. That's not insider information. I have no idea. They said early Q1, which to me says February. Some people are holding out for January. It could happen. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely interested in that, and I'm gonna start making some more videos for Runeterra. It's a pretty different game. It looks kind of like deceptively similar to a lot of card games, but it actually challenges a lot of like different approaches. And people are, always asking me like, what are your plans? So I'm like, what are things going to look like for you? And it's always such a difficult question to answer because I never really have plans. Like, I mean, I don't know. When Artifact was announced, it looked pretty like it could be interesting. So that was cool for a while to think about. I mean, there's a chance the re-release won't be as bad, but I'm not really holding out. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, my experience with Underlords towards the end, I mean, okay. Listen, I've got like friends that work at Valve. Like, I haven't been feeling very good about Valve as a company. This isn't like a hot take. This is like a nuclear winter level take. But I mean, just like between like old Artifacts and Underlords, especially like what happened with Underlords like towards the end. The beginning of Underlords actually looked fairly promising, but some of the decisions in both games just really make you fucking think. Like, I don't know. It feels, on one hand, it does feel like they have a lot of potential. Like Artifact had some fairly genius concepts, but some of how certain things were executing just made literally zero sense. So I don't know. I think that I'm definitely not, shall I say, holding my breath for Artifact re-release, but I'm open to being, surprised. Who knows? Like, it's never easy to say with these things, right? So, basically, people are always asking, what am I gonna do? Like I said, I don't have plans. I never really know like what I'm gonna do. Like Underlords also kind of came like out of nowhere. Like, I didn't think before I was playing Underlords for a while that would be the thing I was doing for a while. And I did it for a while, right? And Runeterra just, they announced it completely just randomly when it was playable for those, for that, like, first week period. That was, like, just on the announcement, which was pretty crazy. There was no build up at all. They were just like, here's our client for a week, right? Which was cool, right? That took me by surprise, right? I had no idea that was going to happen. And now I'm like, wow, this game looks neat. Yeah, I'll play this. Cool. So at the end of the day, will I be playing Runeterra a year from now? I have no idea. It's fairly likely. I mean, I like the game, and I have no idea what else might happen. Maybe Riot will mess up and the game will die. I have no idea. Honestly, it looks pretty good. A lot of like you guys, especially on my Twitch chat, have been saying, "Oh, Riot does so and so and kind of like that." I don't like Riot. Honestly, I mean, I believe in kind of making my opinion for myself. I don't know enough about Riot to have like a super solid opinion, but I mean, from everything I've seen so far, it seems pretty good. I think the biggest issues of the game might be balance. Balance could be a little awkward, and I do think that the changes that we saw upon like reflecting on them, the changes that we saw from like the first beta period to the second one, I honestly think I disagree with most of those changes, which who knows. But we'll see. I have no idea what things are going to look like in the future. I can't know more than anyone else. At the end of the day, this is just going to be an exploration. We're going to venture into, this game. see what happens, see if we like it, give it a, well, I mean, I'll give it a good chance. Maybe I'll play it for 3 years. Maybe I'll play it for 3 months. I have no idea, you know? I mean, I'm excited to play it for like the first season and see at least like what the first set looks like. I think that in card games, a lot of like how you can kind of tell what the future of that game is going to look like is pretty contingent on the first set, because I'm sure there's a lot of cool concepts that they don't want to have in set one. That's just kind of design 101 for, you know, for card games. You always have a lot of concepts that you think of when you're building a card game that you're like, God, this is so cool, but we shouldn't release it during set one because, you know, we want to keep set one a bit more basic. Maybe we want to do set one be like the core evergreen set. You know, there's a lot of considerations. So as a card designer, you often want to keep a lot of interesting cards for like set two or set three. And that's kind of where you as a player see what's, you know, in store for the game's future, like what kind of thing they are going to want to do with the game. So I'm very interested in, you know, seeing what their set two, you know, is going to look like. That could be pretty cool. You know, that might really catch my interest. I have no idea, but it's effectively, this is just kind of going to be a bit of a journey. No idea what the future holds. And that brings me to, you know, the final thing, which is, of course, video editor. So as you guys know, it's in the title. I mentioned it earlier in this video. I'm looking for a new video editor for these videos right here on YouTube. So I'm just gonna say real quick, because I kind of want to like meet individual people, you know, get to know some people better. So I'm not gonna like, you know, give like crazy specifics on what I'm interested in, but I will say I'm looking for a new video editor for Runeterra and whatever else, you know, maybe some variety games on the side, maybe some different game after Runeterra. I have no idea, but I would definitely want someone pretty familiar with my content and YouTube in general. I think that's kind of important. I could go out and hire just like a professional editor, but I would rather, if I can, I would definitely rather try to get someone who is kind of like more of a part of the community, is maybe more familiar with like, you know, memes and like the, you know, the kind of, you know, stuff that you guys are interested in. I think that is just kind of better for, you know, everyone. Obviously it's probably you should be at least interested in Runeterra. You know, I would want someone who's, I mean, you don't have to play like as many hours as I do, but someone who understands the game. And I would say that having professional editing skills isn't a requisite for this at all, but basics are a good start, right? So, I mean, you don't need to have like a degree in any sort of thing, but if you just know the basics of like editing software and, you know, are willing to kind of like work around certain things, that will go a pretty long way. So this is obviously a paid position, you know. It's for exposure. No. This would be like a paid position for probably like 2 videos a day is kind of how I've always operated. So it's like $700 a year. And yeah, at the end of the day, I think that's pretty much it. I just want somebody who's kind of eager to learn, you know, willing to, you know, think outside the box a little bit in some areas, and is just familiar with the stuff that goes around here. And that's basically it. If you think this might be you, just go ahead and message me at swim #2649 on Discord. That's my Discord. So yeah, just say hello, and you know, maybe we'll work something out. Who knows? Or if you just want to say hi. I mean, I guess in retrospect, I probably shouldn't just randomly just put my Discord on the screen in a YouTube video. I don't know. I'll probably get like spammers or something, but who cares? I mean, that's fine. Okay, and that's the video. That's the update. So starting tomorrow, expect some more Runeterra videos. And we will see how things are going to look moving forward. And yeah, feel free to just message me if you think, you know, we might be able to work something out. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.